Anyway, Elis, what are you going to do when you get home today?
My 3-year-old daughter has agreed to watch some football with me as long as I give her an apple juice.
Oh, lovely stuff.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that.
I, Elis, am going to go home, open my beer fridge, close my curtains, watch Queer Eye for the Straight Guy and cry.
Great.
Have you ever seen Queer Eye for the Straight Guy?
No, I haven't.
It's absolutely amazing. Do you have any idea what it is?
From what I understand, it's now a different show to what it used to be.
Yes.
And now it's more of an exploration of like toxic masculinity.
Absolutely it is.
And what happens is people who presumably felt before that they couldn't express themselves are taught to express themselves by gay men. Am I in the right ballpark here?
You're right in the middle of the ballpark having a lovely time.
Oh, great. Okay.
So they get guys who might be a bit backward in coming forward, maybe don't take a lot of interest in how they look, have low self-esteem, and they just completely queer eye them. And they change their house, they change their clothes, they change their cooking to an extent. But all the cast are so super great. So Jonathan Van Ness is the best. He's our favourite, right? Okay. And he's the super gayest of all of the Queer Eye for the Straight Guy guys. So everything is just absolutely perfect. Okay. And he flicks his hair and he does a little dance and he does this amazing thing whenever like the shot's about to end, he'll just turn to the camera and give a little wink and stuff like that. And I just absolutely adore him.
Oh, I've been doing that for years.
He's the grooming expert.
You never gush when I do that.
You, as much as I like you and respect you,
say love,
you do not have 1 ounce of the charisma of Jonathan Van Ness. He is just dreamy. He walks on air.
Signet ring to show your commitment.
So then there's Tan France. So Tan is from Doncaster, right?
Okay.
And he's in
Donny.
Is it from Donny?
He's from Donny.
And he's the style expert of the group.
Okay.
But quite sort of sweetly, he always just buys people exactly the same clothes. So it's always button-down tops. So they're basically short-sleeve T-shirts, short sleeve shirts. That's what he gets for everyone.
Oh, I look like a schoolboy in short sleeve shirts.
Well, he will make you look like a schoolboy, and you'll feel better about yourself. Okay. Then there's.
I'd like to be queer-eyed.
There's Bobby Burke. So
what's his role?
Bobby Burke he's actually the one who does like
Michael Burke's boy.
90% of the hard work on the programme.
Oh, okay.
So he does the house.
He's the Robbins.
So whilst one of them is taking you shopping for a short sleeve shirt, he will change your entire house, and he's excellent, and he looks a bit like Mark Gatiss. Okay. We really like him as well. And then there's Karomo Brown. Don't yawn.
No. I'm not yawning. Sometimes I forget to breathe, then I have to take deep breaths, and it looks like I'm sighing and I'm bored, and I've had to have this conversation with every girlfriend I've ever had because it looks like I'm pouring scorn.
You've had this conversation twice. Burn. So Karomo Brown,
I've had 80 girlfriends. What do you want? No, I haven't.
He's in charge of culture, but he's actually not. It's not culture. He is the sort of the life coach. He is the positivity guy.
What do you mean by culture?
Well, it's a vague term because actually that's not what he does. What he does is gets you to trust yourself.
So he doesn't introduce you to classical music?
No, but he might introduce you to it as a way of getting you to try new things. But he is just the most handsome, solid, manly, warm, kind, reliable. I want him to be my dad and my brother.
Need a father figure, John.
Well, I want it to be Karomo Brown. And finally, there's Anthony Porowski, who is sort of a chef, but not at all.
Imagine.
Like he's got like he does avocados on toast.
Imagine
basically.
if you got queer-eyed. What would they make of that weird NHS table you've got that you check you put your laptop?
They would. Well, I'll tell you exactly what would happen.
What would they do to your house? There's nothing in it.
No, so they would walk into my house and
cry.
No, and Jonathan Van Ness would see the overbed table, and he would just scream, and he'd be like, "What is this?" And they'd be like, "We're getting rid of this," and then I'd quite happily just basically get my entire house redone for free.
Yeah.
But Tony Porowski is he will tell you how to change your diet, but essentially he's just giving you an avocado. But he's still lovely as well, so that's what I'm doing, and I love it.
Well, if you are able to Queer Eye John or me, text us on 83936.
I'd love to be queer-eyed by text.
At Radio X. Tweet us at Radio X. I'd love to be queer-eyed. I think I'm stuck in a rut. I need to eat more avocados.
They'd go crazy on your bathroom.
All right.
Radio X.
Elis James and John Robbins.
It's the pressing issue of the day. John is trying his best to sell Queer Eye for the Straight Guy to me. I've never seen the programme. John seemingly has had his life changed by it. So, John, carry on. Why should I start watching QEFTSG?
Yeah, it's actually quicker to say Queer Eye for the Straight Guy.
Yeah.
Or Queer Eye. Well, so I sort of went into it 'cause my lady love is a big fan, and I went into it pretty sceptical. And I think because the first series,
Because you're a bloody bloke.
well, kind of, but I think the first series was a slightly more run-of-the-mill exploitative reality TV show.
Okay.
Whereas what the reboots, this is a reboot of the original, and what it kind of does quite deftly, and you don't realise it's happening until you're crying. Because of how moving
Is this all
it is.
Queer Eye related, John?
Yes, is that it?
Watching it with the curtains drawn, beer fridge
Sometimes,
turned off.
sometimes it exposes the way men talk about themselves and each other in quite a disparaging dialect. So, the sort of the who ate all the pies kind of banter the guys might have, which is sort of fine in a way of relating, but especially the one You Can't Fix Ugly with Tom from Dallas. You realise
it's an American show.
Yeah.
Right-o.
That sort of way of speaking builds up to fostering quite negative attitudes of yourself.
You end up with a carapace of negativity.
And even though it's sort of nice fun when you're out with the lads and you're all sort of taking the mickey out of each other.
Yeah, hey John, you're really ugly and awful. You're not actually very much fun. You drag me down. I often think you're quite a negative presence in my life. Should we do a Jaeger bomb? John?
Yeah, that sort of thing. But why are you
always getting at me, John?
But you realise that what's a lot of men potentially need is just someone in their life to say to them, you have value.
Yes.
And you look nice.
Because banter can be pernicious, John.
And so what they do is...
You look nice.
They make,
I mean that.
If you interrupt me again, I will chop your head off.
He needs to be queer-eyed.
Is that they will sort of give men time for themselves and say to them, for example... give yourself a couple of mins in the bathroom in the morning to apply products that I'm giving a bad example. I'm not saying, no, we can't stop now because I haven't properly sold Queer Eye to Elis.
No, I think you have.
No, I'm getting Queer Eye wrong. But you see these people who have perhaps grown into sort of parodies of themselves and who are comfortable with the fact that, hey, I'm the guy with dark hair all over my flat. People don't really talk to me. I hide behind my beard. And these guys go, no, we welcome people to your house. You have friends. Shave off that beard. Put your best foot forward. Wear a button-down shirt. Eat avocados. And you sort of, it's doing it quite deftly. But then at the end, they're saying how much it means to them. And then you cry a bit.
Do you know what? Two things. It's Dan Gasser up next. John, stop being such a parody of yourself. You have value. Thank you very much for listening. This is Franz Ferdinand.
Elis, last week I introduced you to the notion of Queer Eye.
Yeah.
And you said you would go and watch Queer Eye because it's changing my life. And I think it's changing masculinity one man at a time.
It's changing the discussion.
How did you get on? Did you watch Queer Eye?
I watched episode 1, series 1, episode 1.
You can't change ugly. Wow. Talk me through your thoughts, your responses. Did you watch it with Izzy?
Gosh, I did watch it with Izzy. She was absolutely flabbergasted when I said we have to watch Queer Eye tonight. The way he kept saying, I'll say yes to anything you say, guys, but you can't fix ugly, broke my heart.
Yes, please.
What I loved about him, if you haven't seen this episode, is he from Georgia in America?
It's all set in Georgia, which I would say is perhaps a slight flaw in series 2 because they still stay in Georgia. I'd like to see them go a bit further afield, but anyway.
But he's from a small town in Georgia, and it shows his mates, and he clearly has never allowed himself to think that looking nice is okay, and he has lupus, which is a kind of skin condition, and he's not done anything about it. And the way he decides, actually, I am going to change. The way he says yes to everything they say is one of the most moving bits of television I've ever seen. And also, my daughter does this when she's 3. The way he looked at them for approval. So he had this big, long, bushy beard. And then there's that scene where he goes to the barber.
Yeah.
And they trim his beard and they shape it and they make him look an awful lot nicer. And they cut his hair. And he hasn't given his hair or his beard any thought, clearly, for years. Obviously, he's growing his beard to hide his lupus and all that kind of stuff. And then they shape it and he looks so much better. And when, I can't remember his name, one of the other ones comes in and goes, "What? What? Oh my God, wow!" He looks so thrilled.
Yes.
That someone says he's looked nice. That look in his eye, I will take that with me to the grave.
Yes.
And obviously he was wearing quite hideous shorts, like those jorts, the denim shorts with the cut-offs, and oh my God, that recliner he had that was covered in stains. I mean,
but they what's great about the Fab Five is that they give men permission to feel positive and confident about themselves, whereas often a lot of these men are in sort of social groups, like a lot of us are, where being disparaging and self-deprecating and quite rude, but in a funny way, is considered sort of the norm. So it reinforces a negative image.
I would love to be queer-eyed. I might queer-eye myself.
Well,
I might start smoking fags and then stop again.
Do you want to know a fun little twist to the story of the Queer Eye you saw?
Go on then.
Tom Jackson, the guy who they queer-eyed in You Can't Fix Ugly, is now engaged to the lady...
you're joking.
No, I'm not joking.
That he took to the car show?
Yes.
Right, let's play a tune. I'm going to play my giddy aunt.
Season 2, if you watch the first episode of Season 2, holy moly, they throw it all into that ep.
Ep 1 of Series 2.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll watch
we'll watch the rest of Season 1
Russia,
first.
Croatia. But
but that's the new modern man. Russia, Croatia, then Queer Eye.
What I loved about him was that he said yes to everything. They didn't suggest...
Like you.
Yeah. They didn't suggest anything that he went, oh, no, I'm not doing that. I'll only do so much.
I often wonder how Tan and the rest of the Fab Five would react to my collection of Queen t-shirts.
Well, I think you could Queen Eye them.
Queen Eye!
You could Queen Eye me. You could turn up in my house and say, just not enough Queen hoodies, Elis.
Queen Eye for the gay guy. I could be the
Queen Eye for the normal guy.
I could do a show where I make over gay guys to dress like a sad straight man.
Yeah. Or a normal person who doesn't think that Queen are the be-all and end-all of everything. You could make them dress like they actually think that you've got to try and bring Queen into every single conversation you have in life.
I'm going to pitch it.
Queen Eye.
We have had an email from Elis. I think I'm saying that right.
How's that spelt?
Eilidh.
Okay.
Is that right? Yes.
I think so.
I win. Well, lack of incompetence in name pronunciation there. She says she is an illustrator, freelance, spends a lot of time alone. She says, I like to play podcasts rather than listen to music while I work. And I would like to thank you for providing top quality content. The reason of my email, can Elis please nominate John for Queer Eye? I don't think I'd be alone in feeling that it would potentially make for the best TV viewing experience I've ever had.
Well, I would love to. Would they listen to me?
Who? The Fab Five?
The Fab Five?
I'm sure the Fab Five would listen to you, but they don't venture outside of Atlanta.
Yeah.
However, exciting news, Elis, because this week I am being queer-eyed in a way.
By who?
By my stylist.
Who's that? You can't say yourself.
Her name is Susie, and she is my stylist because I have a stylist now.
What?
I have a stylist who is going to queer-eye my wardrobe.
No way.
I'm meeting her on Wednesday because...
She is a queen.
What?
Is she into Queen?
Well, we discussed this on the phone. She said, what sort of clothes do you like? And I said, exclusively Queen t-shirts. And she said, green t-shirts. And I went, no, I actually don't own any green t-shirts. Because, as some people may have read in the broadcast press...
You're a project.
No, I'm going to be hosting a digital quiz show on Dave. It's called Skirmish.
I'm so proud of you. so pleased for you.
I'm filming a digital quiz show on the digital channel Dave, called
Jive.
Beat the Internet with John Robbins.
Okay, it sounds so John Robbins.
And I have to be queer-eyed. I have to get all of the clothes chosen for me. So she's going on a big shop to lots of shopping centres, and then I'm going into...
Does she know your measurements?
Yes, I measured myself up in my living room with a tape measure.
Okay.
And she's going to... I'm going to try on all the clothes she's bought. Because obviously when you're on TV, as a rule, you can't have logos on your clothes.
Yeah.
Or including images of Freddie Mercury that are copyrighted. So I tried making a few T-shirts out of my own sketches of Freddie Mercury because I would therefore own the copyright, but they just didn't come out clear.
One of the things I love about Queer Eye is that the people they Queer Eye always say yes. They say yes to everything. Are you going to say yes to Susie?
I have said yes to most of Susie's suggestions, but I said no to Converse trainers because they give me bad arches.
Fair enough.
And I said no to pockets on shirts and T-shirts because I think they look lame.
Do you think that?
I think they look super lame.
Okay.
Pockets on T-shirts are super lame.
Oh dear, Vin.
Oh, sorry, Vin.
I know.
On that T-shirt it looks fine because that's
also
kind of a
clothing
cool...
advice from John. It's fine.
But that's sort of
Yeah,
a
that's
different
true.
type of T-shirt.
Yeah,
That's cool, Vin, because it's sort of baggy and loose. Whereas, I think a short sleeve T-shirt, a short sleeve shirt with a pocket looks lame. So that's
the only clothing opinion.
yeah.
you have.
Well,
You've never ever offered an opinion on clothes other than. Is it Queen?
yeah.
Or Queen based? No. Well, then I don't like it then. That's the first non-Queen opinion you've got.
Yeah, I think so. And Vin's T-shirt aside, which looks like the sort of sloppy T-shirt that Picasso may have worn
yes, I'll say
whilst
that.
doing a sculpture and having cuddling and kissing with his mistress. That one's fine, but apart from that, I think pockets on T-shirts are lame. So I'm going to tell Susie that. What else should I tell Susie to kit me out in? What do you reckon?
Well, it would be. You look nice when you try. So I'd
man.
love Susie to try.
I'm also nicer to be around when I try.
Yes, yes. When I would love you to say yes to Susie. How did you find Susie?
Susie was found for me.
By whom? By Dave?
By Vice UK. Not the Vice Squad. Not the Vice Squad.
Are they going to Vice you?
Vice is the production company.
Yeah, but like the Vice, are they anything to do with Vice magazine?
It's the same.
So you're going to look like a Shoreditch East
No,
End
they're
hipster.
not like that
I can't
anymore.
wait for you to wear braces.
They're
You
not.
look like Jamali Maddox.
Good Lord. No, I'm not that side of the I'm not involved in the side of slightly poncy side
John,
of
can
these
you
things.
grow a huge woodsman's beard in 2 days?
Unfortunately, no.
I can't wait. So will you look like a blacksmith from the early 20th century? Is that how she's going to dress
No, I'm
you?
going to look smart, like someone suitable for hosting a digital game show.
Is your life falling apart, John?
No, on UK Conquest.
You're listening to Elis James and a semi-nude John Robbins here on Radio X. John, following your advice, I have become a Queer Eye obsessive.
Oh, great.
We are
follower of the Fab Five.
We are so close to me actually downloading podcasts about Queer Eye.
Oh, great.
There is one, actually. There is one that exists. I was talking to my friend Anne about it.
Yeah.
I watched the ones that you recommended. I watched episode 1, series 2, and series 1, the one with the guy who gets 2.5 hours sleep a night because he has 2 jobs because he has 6 kids.
Yes.
Now, the thing with that one, whilst obviously it was great that they gave him a haircut, it was great that they tidied his house, it was great that they encouraged his children to pull their weight and do some chores around the house. I thought what he really needs is money.
Yes.
So that he doesn't have to work 9 until 5 as a draftsman and then 10 until 4 a.m. stocking shelves in his local, American version of Homebase or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I love it, right? I really love it. But the only bit of advice that it didn't stick in my craw but made me think, oh, come on, was when Jonathan said, right, it's all you need to do is to find 3 minutes of you time. And I thought that's a fair enough request. And that's when you apply your mousse. I thought I thought a week ago he wasn't washing his hair.
Yes.
You can't expect him to go from grease to mousse.
Well, I think Queer Eye-wise, the sort of one elephant in the room is class.
Yes.
And there's that sort of the working class American story is something that can't be made over.
No, and they're obsessed
Because
with
if you need to earn money to bring up 4 kids,
6 kids. he
six
had.
kids,
Yeah.
you can't really change that with a button up top.
No, and also, I mean, in terms of work ethic, extraordinary. How was he not ill all the time? And so he's getting 2.5 hours sleep a night, and obviously spoiler alert, he'd got his wedding wrong. He'd got the reception wrong, and him and his wife had always regretted it. So they had a kind of a mini second reception, and he said, "I love you so much" to his wife, and she cried, and I cried, and Izzy cried. But part of me thought, on 2.5 hours, Kip, how can you feel any emotion that isn't hate?
Or how are you not just crying all the time at everything?
Well, what he did have was he had that very spaced out look that you get when you're extremely tired. You often see it in new parents where they took him to the equivalent of an Asda, I suppose, in America, and they bought clothes for his kids. And Jonathan would say, "What do you think of this?" And he'd go, "Yeah."
He reminded me a bit of
shattered.
Viggo Mortensen.
Who's that?
The actor who plays Aragorn and the dad in The Road, neither of which you've seen, I don't think.
No.
But Elis, this week I also got queer-eyed.
Yes, I'm very excited about this because you need a change.
By Susie the Stylist.
Great.
So I went for my fitting, and it was a very, very hot day.
You've always wanted to... No, actually, that's not true. I've always wanted you to look nice.
Yes.
People
and I've
have
always
wanted you to look nice.
The most recent Queen t-shirt.
You've also wanted to spend no money.
So I walked there and I got very, very sweaty. It was super hot, and I arrived at Vice Studios, and to put it mildly, stank. Right? Because it had been one of those days where I'd had a few different things.
Yeah.
And I had sweated and dried out in my t-shirt maybe 3 times.
Fatal.
So it's a bit like you're wearing a t-shirt that's had 3 days worth of use.
Yeah.
So I got there, I apologised to the lady. I said, "I really stink, have you got any moist wipes?" She said no. So I took off my t-shirt and used an old pair of pants to wipe my armpits.
Right. You need to be queer-eyed. Why you did that in front of a stylist?
Yes.
Were you drunk?
No, I apologised. I said, "Look, this is for your own good," because I had some roll-on, but I wanted to dry down. So I got the previous night's pants because I'd stayed over in London.
What?
But Elis, this is the worst
Do you know what
thing.
I would have done? I'd have gone to the toilet.
I should
would
have done
told her
that.
what I'd done, and I'd have had a sink wash.
Yeah, I should have done that. So anyway,
So did you do this in front of her?
yes.
Were you drunk?
No, I
you
just
ill?
didn't care.
Okay.
But I did apologise.
People are different.
But then, Elis, when I took my trousers off to try on the first pair of trousers, I realised that I was wearing a very loose boxer, so not a trunk. And also, embarrassingly, they were inside out. And I just knew immediately that because of the nature of the open fly...
You didn't show Little John.
Well, no, but I just knew straight away, if I'm going to be in and out of different pairs of trousers, this is going to be everywhere.
Lethal, not fatal.
So I then had to ask her if she could turn her back so that I could change out of my current pants into the old pair of pants which I just used to wipe my armpits.
Oh my God.
Which were a tight trunk.
You should have done. You should have wrapped Little John in some kitchen roll.
I should have just given her 100 quid and walked out and said, "I'm so sorry." But anyway,
Giving her 100 quid for like sort of mental discomfort.
but she was so nice. Do you want to see some of the looks?
Yes, please.
Come round and have a look at my
All right,
phone,
then.
man. Who's that handsome guy?
I've never met him before.
Swipe down.
I've
Describe
never
what
met
you're
him
seeing.
before. Well, you're wearing a suit jacket, a nice shirt untucked, very skinny jeans, and New Balance trainers. To be honest, ooh, hello, Mr. Stripy T-shirt. Are you in the Stone Roses? I like that one. It's so... What the H is that?
I said I wouldn't wear that.
Well, because you look like Bobby George, the darts player.
It's a very silky sort of short sleeve top with pictures of sort of flowers on it.
Yeah, it's a flowery T-shirt. What's the fashion guy from Queer Eye called? The English one from Doncaster.
Oh, Tan.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, Tan would love it. I actually mentioned Tan to Susie.
well, as
the
he said, you
stylist.
build yourself up to floral with stripes.
You do, and that's exactly what I've done.
Oh, that's a very smart suit. Do you know what? You're not ugly, John,
Oh, thanks, man.
when you make an effort. Oh, I like those desert boots.
Yeah, I told her you'd like the desert boots.
Oh, hello.
I said I'm not wearing them because I'm not that guy.
Okay, I also like that Harrington jacket.
I also rejected that because I said I didn't think that was suitable for a quiz show presenter.
Okay, I also like those white trainers.
And you'll never guess what she did.
You can a short-sleeved shirt. I like that. I can't wear short sleeves because it makes me look like a schoolboy.
Because I'm not allowed to wear any Queen T-shirts on the programme. She ironed in Queen transfers into all of the jacket linings. So there's Queens in all of the jackets.
Like when Dave had the Slide Away lyrics embroidered into his suit.
Folks, that was some Queer Eye chat and a pant anecdote. I am clearly disgusting. Elis, did you watch the new series of Queer Eye?
Unfortunately not. No, not yet. On the list though.
Make a little appointment for Tear Town.
Really?
Absolutely. I was a mess. So watched all 8 of them with my full-time F in 2 days.
How emotional does she find it?
Like, she will get emotional at the main sort of 2 beats of the episode.
Yeah.
I will be welling up as they describe the person in the opening scene.
Right, okay. It triggers something in you, doesn't it?
Man. Well, stoic dads.
Yeah.
Oh, mate. There's one with a stoic dad with 2 kids. His wife died of cancer. Oh. They're leaving the home that they had together for him and the kids to sort of make a new start.
Oh, John.
And they make a little cupboard. Spoiler alert, they make a little cupboard for all her cards that she's written for her kids, but they engrave it with her handwriting, Elis.
Yeah, I very much part of the stoic dad scene.
Oh, well, if stoic dads make you weep an embarrassing amount in front of your full-time GF or F or B, F or F, brackets, M, close brackets, then
or your W or your H.
I cannot commend the new series of Queer Eye to you. And there is an episode with this girl, Jess, who is an African-American lesbian who was thrown out of her adopted home when she was outed as gay.
Oh, John.
Oh, my God. That's not true. I don't think I've in the last month cried solidly for a full hour.
Do you know what really hits me about that programme? Men, especially older men who don't feel that they can make an effort with how they look because when they grew up it was frowned upon, very much part of that scene. Also, people who grew up in small towns and didn't fit in and are unhappy but can't see a way out of their circumstances. And also when they meet gay people for the first time because they might live in the sort of Bible Belt in America and they like them even though you would assume that they wouldn't. There's just something about 2 different cultures coming together that really, really affects me. Also, anyone basically who grew up in a small town on Queer Eye, that's a trigger for me. Tier-wise, Izzy doesn't find it as upsetting.
Does she not?
Well,
I would have thought that was right up her alley.
Absolutely. But I think the dynamic is very similar to you and your full-time
Show
F.
her the episode with Jess.
Okay.
Or the episode with the stoic dad. Or, to be honest, any of the episodes.
What I find moving is Rob Beckett All Together now on BBC One. You're listening to Elis James and John Robbins on BBC Radio 5 Live. This is a pre-recorded show, so please don't text in. It is, however, our birthday show. That's right, we've been on the station for 12 whole months, and this is a show with a difference. We're surprising each other with very, very special guests. So I just talked to Ian Rush, who has been a hero of mine since the age of 8 or 9, and I've lined up someone that John is going to be so excited. So Robbins, has Dave or producer Jess, have they let slip anything? Have you got any idea who we've got lined up for you?
I have absolutely no idea.
Great. Well, okay. Well, I think we should get straight into it. When it comes, you see, John, to Project Robbins, I think you're doing so well. You know, when it comes to cooking, for instance, you've mastered the curry, you've mastered guac. When it comes to culture, you're right up there. Degree in medieval English, for crying out loud. I love the design of your house. And, you know, when it comes to your hair care, clearly your grooming is tip-top. There's one aspect of Project Robbins that I think could do with a little bit of work. And I know that your full-time F is trying her best, but when I look at you, I still think of the man who sang songs at me in the car and used to drive to gigs 15 years ago about how you, at heart, were T-shirt and jeans. Your band T-shirt and your jeans.
No
And
way.
your Mr. Hoodie. Well, all the way from the USA, fashion expert from your favourite programme ever, it is Tan France from Queer Eye.
Hello, John.
Oh my God!
Hi, John. How are you?
Don't lie!
Hi.
Oh man!
John, I'm so glad you knew who I was. It would have been really sad if you saw the picture and was like, wait, who's that?
Oh my!
Please don't swear.
My fiance is going to. I don't know what she'll do. I think she'll just walk straight into the sea when she knows that I have got to speak to the Tan France.
There aren't that many of us, so I'll take thee.
Oh my Lord! How are you doing, man?
It's really nice of you to ask me, because as you can see, I'm in a very calm state. I should be asking you, how the heck are you? You got bright red. I don't know if they're tears I see.
That's how much she drinks.
Well, you're matching your T-shirt. You seem to have tears in your eyes, but I don't know if that's just the camera.
No, I've got to. I have to say, I did get, but sort of tears of excitement. I mean, you've caught me at an odd moment sartorially.
Oh, why? Because ordinarily you'd be in a three-piece suit, but I've just caught you off guard.
No, usually I'd be wearing ripped jeans and a Queen t-shirt, but you've caught me in actually a pair of shorts because I went for a walk in the heat. And my Radio Clyde t-shirt, which is based on a t-shirt that Frank Zappa once wore on stage in the 70s.
Oh, do you know what? I can make my peace with that. Do I think that red is the best choice for you? I don't know.
Really?
I don't know. The jury's still out. But
Do you want to see the shorts?
yes, I really do.
So the shorts and a belt my fiance bought me because she said all my belts were rubbish.
Let me see the side of the belt. I want to see the detail. Oh, all right. I like that.
Could you please say, so we have it on record, Coco Fennell, you have very good taste.
Her name's Coco Fennell?
Yes.
Gosh, with a name like that, she better be in show business. Coco Fennell, you clearly have great taste, especially in belts.
Well, she runs a dress company. You should check it out.
Okay, wait. I did hear from a little birdie earlier that she is a designer. Actually, that's a really good length of short for you. That's a good... You know, the shorts aren't bad. The shorts really aren't bad. Wait, so your girlfriend or fiancé or wife, what's the situation?
Full-time fiance.
Full-time fiancé, okay. Wow, like permanent fiancé? Or just full-time fiancé?
Yeah. No. I just refer to her as my full-time fiance for some reason. I don't know.
How long has it been? Wow, I thought we were going to talk about clothes, but really I've got to talk about relationship. Wait, how long have you been engaged?
Just over a year?
Do you have a wedding planned?
Yes, we did, but obviously sort of on hold.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure you weren't a permanent fiancé and that you. Okay, good.
No.
Okay, good. So she's in fashion.
Yeah.
Does she try and gently nudge you in the right direction or no?
Yes, she does.
Good.
Her and her mum are very, very fashion orientated. Her mum used to work with Thea Porter.
Okay.
And so at sort of Christmases and birthdays, that's when they really take an opportunity, just in a loving, gentle way, to sort of nudge me towards clothes that aren't Queen t-shirt and black jeans.
I do love a Queen t-shirt, and I do love a black jean. I really do love. No, I do. I'm sorry.
Don't encourage
Alice, I'm
him.
sorry. I do like an old band t-shirt. I really do. And if it's with a simple black jean, great. But you should have other options in your arsenal.
Well, I'll tell you. Shall I show you the coat she bought me?
Yeah, I really want to see it. That's really nice. Don't put it up. No. Don't do it up. For God's sake, don't do it up. But it's so nice open.
Yeah.
So nice and chic.
It is.
I like that a lot.
Good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's interesting with the short.
Yeah, it would. I wouldn't usually wear it with a short.
Yeah, that's a brave choice. No, it's a really nice jacket, a really nice coat.
The problem I had, Tan, is that sort of maybe 2 or 3 or 4 times a year I might wear a suit jacket.
Mm-hmm.
And the only coat I had is like a sort of a little bomber jacket, which just doesn't work. So I had nothing when it was cold or rainy. I had nothing to wear over the suit jacket, or nothing to wear that didn't make me look like Lou Reed, which is fine by me. She's vetoed my old leather jacket. Can I show you another jacket?
I'd love for you to show me another jacket.
I'll be 20 seconds.
Okay, good. Elis, whilst he's looking for that, do you ever criticise his... Wait, why are we talking about his clothes? What's going on with yours?
There's nothing... Please don't say there's anything wrong with my clothes.
What have you got on?
I'm feeling great.
What are you wearing?
I've got a polo shirt on.
Ellis goes for the mod look, and may I say, he pulls it off fairly well. He's got the...
Thank you, Dave.
the Fred Perry's,
Thank you, Dave. It's more Lacoste than Fred Perry, but never mind, let's not split hairs.
I like a Fred Perry. What's your beef with Fred Perry? Oh, wait. We're back.
What? John.
So I know that jacket, obviously.
Yes.
So you are quite a Freddie fan.
Yes. The only ones you could get were sort of pretty crummy, like sort of hen do, stag do ones. So this is actually a bespoke leather replica of Freddie's yellow jacket that he wore at Wembley in '86 and Nebworth.
I've just realised you've also got figurines with that jacket on behind you on a shelf.
Yeah. And I've got quite a lot of Mercuriania.
You know, I really am starting to respect Coco so much. She has quite a strong stomach, and I really appreciate that in a woman.
She is a fantastic person.
Does she love Freddie as much as you do?
No, she loves you.
That's very
She loves all of the Fab Five. We have different cultural touchstones, which is really important in a relationship.
Do you wear this out and about?
No, I'm not. I mean, that would be too much for any person to have to put up with.
You know, here's the thing. I actually, Alice, judge me all you want. I actually wouldn't be offended if you wore this out. If it was done the right way, and if you were going somewhere where it made sense. Like, not to Tesco.
What? Wembley? The old Wembley?
I did once wear it to a birthday party where the dress code was fabulous.
And that is obviously fabulous.
The only problem was, just coincidentally, Queen's old manager John Reed happened to be there.
Oh my gosh.
So he also represented Elton John, so I had to negotiate sort of being around someone from the sort of Queen story whilst also wearing a quite intimidating bespoke leather Freddie Mercury jacket.
I'm sure that's the word he had used to describe intimidating.
So, Tan, how are things... I'll take it off now, it's actually quite restrictive. How are things going in lockdown? Are you doing any sort of like sort of streamed makeovers or any sort of content, or are you all just kind of taking a bit of time?
We're all taking a bit of time. We're taking forced time. I actually really do miss shooting, so I'm hoping we'll get back to work soon. But most of my work I've been doing is writing. I write potential shows. A couple of them are in the process of being produced, which is really nice. I bake a lot. I thought I'm going to take my time and do what I actually want to do with my life, which is my favourite thing, which is baking. And so I was doing that a few times a week, and I stopped a few weeks ago because I started to worry that I was getting diabetes.
My daughter's 5 and she bakes a lot of cakes, and it's great for the first couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And then you think, I can't have another chocolate cake for breakfast, just to show that she's doing really
Here's the
well.
thing though, Elis, I can and I will have another chocolate cake for breakfast, and so I have to just go cold turkey. I've got to stop. It truly is an addiction. I really struggle to stop, and so I try at least once a year to have a month where I do not eat baked goods.
I've got a tremendously sweet tooth, so how do you manage a month without chocolates and cakes and stuff?
I wouldn't say I manage it, because I think my husband wants to divorce me that month every year. I just get through it. I find a way to make it work.
But do the cravings... do they dissipate as the month?
Sorry to butt in, but I think Elis is having a conversation with you about not eating sugar. That's not quite how I saw this panning out. Just got a few more questions.
Go ahead, John. Wait, I've got a question for you. Actually, both of you. But John, this is your moment. We'll leave you to answer. It's been a year. We're celebrating your anniversary of a year of the show.
Yes.
Tell me about it. Are we excited? Are we stressed? Is that Is that pressure to think, okay, we did a year, we've now got to do better?
I think probably that we'll have a meeting in a couple of weeks about perhaps refreshing the some of the features of the show. It's always important to do that before you need to do that.
Was there enough tan content or no?
Well,
No, we need more tan content.
That sounds right.
It's weird that it's happened in this scenario because this now feels like the new normal. So it's going to feel very odd when we go back into like London. So I loved all your shows.
Thanks.
But the Japan one was really interesting because I'd been chatting to me and my fiance watch just as soon as they drop, we watch them all.
That's very nice.
I cry a lot more than she does, but we shed tears. And we're always like, this is great. Why are they always in Austin? It is Austin, isn't it? Texas?
You have not seen an episode in Austin yet. We only shot one before COVID. We were in Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Do you mean Atlanta? Okay, great. That was only season 1, season 2. To be fair.
Yeah. No. It wasn't a criticism, but I was just wondering is there like a restriction on where you can go to do them? Are you going to do some in the UK? Are you going to...
My hope is that we will do UK episodes. So as you know, we did the Japanese episodes you mentioned. And that, in my opinion, was the most interesting experience for the show because it really took us out of our comfort zone. It put us in a position where we were dealing with people who were so different from us. The way that they express emotion is so different from the way the Americans express emotion compared to me as a Brit. I know that there's a big difference between the Americans and the Brits, but we kind of emote the same. That's not the case for the Japanese. But the reason why we shot the first 2 seasons in Atlanta and then the second 2 in Missouri, Kansas and Missouri, is because it costs a fortune to travel across the country per episode. So we are stationed in one place. That's usually based on what we think the audience will be, so who our heroes will be, whether there's enough diversity in that place for us to really create an interesting show, and are they going to offer us incentives to come to their state? So, for example, Kansas City, they petitioned to have us in their city. Their mayor did an incredible viral video. They basically said, if you come to our city, you'll have complete access to whatever you want, so you can make the best show possible. And so, if a city says that they're gonna open doors for us to make sure that we can make it a really fun show, and they're not going to restrict where we can shoot, that makes it really interesting for us.
Oh man, well, amen to that, and I hope it goes on for so long, and I hope you make 1,000 episodes a year because
it takes up a lot of time. But what people don't realize is that we shoot like 5 months of the year, and
do you really?
The amount of times we get comments saying, "Oh my gosh, why are there only 8 or 10 episodes?" And we're like, we can't possibly shoot for more time. That's our whole life at that point.
How long do you spend with each person then?
A week.
Because I often think when I'm watching, I think there's no way they could get that house done that quickly.
Yeah. What you may not realise is that the makeover is done within a week. The house is done within 3 days. So we shoot 2 seasons back to back usually, which is why we're gone for months on end. But the actual home makeover takes about 3 days.
Tan, can I ask a question, please?
Of course you may.
Just before you go, I think we couldn't let you go without you offering some form of tips or advice to John. From what you've seen, you've got his height now. You've seen him stand up. Just from the brief time you've spent with him, from this persona and how he holds himself, what could he be buying, or what could he do fashion wise to improve?
Should point
if
out,
anything,
persona wise, I'm not usually this chatty and excited.
No, he's not. He's really not.
This is you excited?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
My fashion hero is Lou Reed, and unfortunately I just think he looks so cool all the time. But it's quite a defensive...
It's very specific.
It's quite like a sort of aggressive, defensive look, like aviators, black leather jacket, jeans.
Yeah.
It's kind of don't you come up and talk to me kind of look. But I just think he looks so cool.
Is that you with your personality? Are you the don't talk to me person?
Yeah, I think I might be.
Yeah, he is.
But not like because Lou Reed would be like, don't talk to me, you're a complete loser. Whereas I'd be, maybe I'm a bit shy. I'm a bit sort of, it takes me a while to really get on board with someone. I sort of had to feel out overthink things a lot, so I'll be thinking, what if they think I'm an idiot?
This is news to me. You don't seem this way at all. You're clearly putting on a very good show for me because you seem very personable.
I'm in my house. There's no one else here. I feel quite comfortable. I'm chatting to you, so obviously there's adrenaline pumping. But I think what Coco has tried to do is to move me away from black all the time. So she's brought in blues. She's brought in greys.
Okay, couple of questions for you. Do you mind me asking how old you are?
I'm 39. 38.
Okay.
Great.
38, okay. Okay. And then when you're not working, do you go to the pub? Do you have a relatively active social life?
I do as often as I can. Not as often with friends as I would like, because I don't live very near many of my friends. But yeah, I like to go to the pub.
What are you wearing when you go to the pub?
Queen t-shirt, jeans, New Balance trainers. I used to wear Converse, but they made my feet really hurt. I wore them for years, but they've just no support. And a sort of a black, windproof zipper.
Would you consider, instead of a queen tee, just a more buttoned up tee, like a plainer something, maybe just with a simple pocket detail, maybe a collar, maybe a couple of buttons or a zip up, just a version of a polo maybe, or a Henley, just something to change it up so it's not just a basic tee.
Well,
a queen tee.
Yeah, so I do have other band t-shirts, and I also do have some plain t-shirts.
Great. Do you have any button-ups or button-downs, however? I can't remember how we refer to it back then.
Not t-shirts. I've got some really nice shirts, but I just don't wear... I wish I had more opportunity to wear them, but I wonder if actually every day is an opportunity to wear a shirt.
Absolutely. I know that you like bands. I see that you like leather jackets. Would you consider a leather jacket that was black and more simple and more sophisticated?
I would, but it got vetoed by a certain fiancé of mine.
It's the only time I will say, Coco, I'm sorry, my love, you're wrong. A black leather jacket is a classic in anyone's closet.
Oh, yes.
And it will just step up your look.
Yes.
Go with a black leather jacket.
Yes.
Do not go with a racer collar. Otherwise, when I see you in person, I probably will throw something in your face.
Okay, so racer collar is the one where it's like a sort of Sting.
Yeah.
Sting. What's the name of that? A collarless shirt.
Yeah. If Sting would have worn it 10 years ago, and I love Sting, but if Sting would have worn it 10 years ago, don't wear that version of the leather jacket.
You can't wear that with a shirt, though, can you?
You absolutely can. You couldn't be more wrong. Please go with a casual shirt. And if you don't want something that feels too stuffy and rigid, don't go with a stiff fabric. Go with something that's lighter. Go with a viscose, so it's a little more comfortable for you.
I've got one little question. How can I put it? I suffer from a syndrome known as Welshman's thigh.
What is that?
Where I'm very, very strong and powerful across the buttocks and thighs, but my legs are tremendously short.
That sounds like the ultimate luxury. I would kill for that problem.
No, I don't know.
Lies.
About that. I sometimes can't pull jeans on over my calves, but I've got a 28-inch inside leg, so it just, in a suit, I look a little bit like a rugby player who's in court. You see, that's the
dream. That is the dream. Are you out of your mind? You don't hang out with enough gay men. That is literally the dream. That's why I do squats every day.
Yeah, and I'm quite thin up top, so you see, I look like two different bodies that have been sewn together. Okay. I think naked. So
your bottom half is wider than your top half.
Oh, big time, yeah. So I don't know how you can make the most out of that.
Question: how tall are you?
About 5'7".
Okay, and then your suits. Your legs. Is the ankle width also quite sizable, or just regular ankles?
I think quite regular ankles.
Okay,
I think.
Then go for something called a tapered fit leg.
Yes.
They're going to offer you more room around the bum and the thigh. And I would also suggest that you go for, you might not love this, but it's classic and it's made a major comeback, a two-pleat front pant that's tapered at the leg.
Oh.
So then it's going to disguise the fact that you have a chunkier thigh and bigger bum. It's just going to make it look like that's the shape of the pant, which is very much on trend right now, but it's also a classic shape. And then for your jacket, I would like your suit jackets going forward, when you put your arms down, your cuff shouldn't be the same length as your jacket body. I want that to be shorter, at least 2 or 3 inches. If you keep it at the standard size that you're buying off the rack, and the clothes are made for a man who's at least 5'11", you have to get that altered. Just take it up a couple of inches so it's shorter than your sleeve length. Otherwise, it's going to make you look shorter and wider than you are. Elis, I know that it might seem like I'm asking you to spend a lot of money with getting your jackets altered. To get your suit jacket altered, if you're going to a regular tailor, not a Hollywood tailor, it shouldn't cost you more than 15 quid to get your jacket shortened. I once wore a suit on a red carpet in actual Hollywood, and it was a Primark suit that I got for under 100 quid. And I had it altered, and people assumed that it was a designer.
Amazing.
Wow. Thank you so much for coming
You
on.
are so welcome.
Thank you, Tan.
Congratulations on the 1 year anniversary. That is honestly a huge achievement. A lot of shows, as you must know, don't make it to a year. So
Thank you.
congratulations.
And when do we next see the Fab Five in action?
June 5th.
June the 5th.
It's a good one. I think you're going to really enjoy it.
Oh, thanks, man. That has made my year. That's actually made my year. That's how much it is. How much it means to me.
And John, say hi to Coco for me.
I will do.
Tell her I said hello. Thank you both for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you. And here's to a second year for you both.
Great, thank you. Speak to you very soon, hopefully.
Bye.
Bye. Well, it was John's treat and it was John's surprise, but it was an absolute delight to talk to Tan from Queer Eye, who is just, he's so kind. As he was giving me advice, I thought, he really cares.
And you can't make that programme if as soon as, they shout cut, your kind of face falls and you back off to your trailer and you have to care because you just get found out otherwise. Oh, man, that was a great guest, guys. Thank you.
Well done, Elis. You really put in the hours and it really paid off.
Well done, Elis. And maybe next time, Dave, you can, as with mine, maybe you can put a bit of effort in to contacting some of these people.
Sorry.
Oh, man. I can't believe. So Queen T-shirts are okay. Black leather jackets are okay. Ripped jeans are okay. Coco is going to lose her mind.
Yeah.